Alright, this is my video introducing myself to my YouTubers. You guys probably know me as the crazy vegan chef who will do just about anything on camera. So I inquested of you guys to send me some good questions. Anything that you wanted to know about me, no matter how ridiculous it was, and I got some pretty good ones. So here I am, I'm going to answer some of those for you. Right now I am currently living both in Phoenix, Arizona and also Charleston, South Carolina. It looks to be like I'm going to be spending about a month in each for a while. It's kind of a long story, but it's kind of cool. I get the city and I also get the boonies all wrapped into one. I really like that. It's kind of cool. I like the dynamic. Nick Grabowski wants to know what my favorite spice and herb is. Nick, you do not watch my channel or you would already know. Jalapenos. I put them in everything. Even when I don't show it in the video, I cook it without jalapenos because I'm assuming not everybody loves them. Then after I get done shooting, jalapenos go right in there. Or if you look really closely, sometimes you'll just see them mixed into the stir fries when I don't tell it to be in the recipe. But yeah, jalapenos in everything. Christian Lehman wanted to know what I did last night. All I'm gonna say is a less than admirable things. Many, many less than admirable things. That was New Year's Day. Things got a little out of hand. And let's just say I got a couple texts on my phone that should go on that website. Texts from last night. It's pretty interesting. So we're gonna skip that question. Nick Grabowski also wants to know if I sing in the shower. And of course I do. I sing all the time. I sing for fun. I sing in the shower. Sometimes I sing when I cook. If you watch my black bean fajita video, you'll see that I sing all the time. And sometimes I'll even dance around in bunny hat and pink glasses and my boxers for everybody to see on YouTube. Okay, Go Vegan had some pretty good questions. The first one being 2010 resolutions. Don't really do the 2010 or New Year's resolution thing. I try to make resolutions on a weekly basis, constantly keeping goals, constantly trying to achieve new things, constantly trying to change up my life. I guess my resolution for these next few weeks, again, is going to try to build stronger friendships, create bonds that are going to last a good lifetime, eat better. I'm going to do a few more raw recipes than I've been doing because, oh God, you guys know that I deep fry everything, which isn't good, but I don't know. I have guilty pleasures. Go Vegan wants to know, what kind of music do I like? I like just about everything. Some of my favorite bands is a band called Me Without You. If you want to look them up, you don't space it. Great band, wonderful lyrics. Aaron Weiss is their lead singer. He lyrically is a genius. Magnificent. Also a big fan of a punk band called Bayside. Great band. And then also I'd have to say Dave Matthews. Yeah, I'm a Matthews fan. Sometimes it's sad to say, but he just gets better with every freaking album. It's insane. Also, Go Vegan wants to know my tattoo. It says Fly or Die right there across the front of it. I got this one after a friend of mine, a childhood friend of mine, Matt McCain, died in a car wreck. And we always had this saying when we were a kid, fly or die. It kind of meant step up to the situation. It's got this long backstory, but whenever you get put in an extraordinary situation, whether or not you're going to freeze under the pressure or you're going to step up to the plate and make something happen. This one here is my tiger. It's not yet colored in, but it will eventually be a half sleeve. This is from my years of teaching Shaolin Kung Fu in South Carolina. I did that for quite some time. Been steering away from it a little bit recently. Kind of backed away from the violence, I guess. I started doing underground kickboxing for a while. It just wasn't me. I was good at it, but it just wasn't my style. Alright, you got me taking my clothes off again. This happens on a pretty regular basis on my YouTube channel, if you guys haven't noticed. Alright, so then we have this one right here. This is a dove flying down to the ground. Its sulk escaping out through its wings. This right here is the Holy Earth symbol, the circle with 4 divisions and the 4 dots representing the elements, and the 1 is actually an acronym meaning One Nationed Earth, meaning to bring us all together, keep us all as one. On my sides here you'll see that I have big black stars. I got one on each side, and that is actually my first tattoos, and I got them as a representation of my agoraphobia and how I didn't want that to inhibit my life. So every time I think about my fears, I have my tattoos remind me that I just need to take charge and get things done. Samurai 89 Kitten, I love you too. Keep watching. Art Vegan wants to know if I like Monty Python. Of course I like Monty Python, come on. I'm actually a big fan of Flying Circus. Not many people watch the Flying Circus series, but I was a really big fan of that. Other than Flying Circus, I'd have to say Life of Brian is my favorite. Alright, this question is coming from Courtney Gray and Sydney Silversmith. Also, Vegan Treks. These people all want to know what happened to me in my life that made me stop eating meat. It's kind of a long chain of events, I guess. Starting with my desire to understand process. I absolutely love the idea of process, and it drives me crazy when people don't get process about anything. People that drive cars all day, every day, and have no idea how a combustible engine works. It drives me mad when people do that. I've always been somebody who really looked at something and wanted to know the anatomy of it. Okay, so I guess maybe the precursor to me becoming vegan had to be, my vegan friends are gonna love this story, when I worked on a boat called the Thunderstar. Ooh. Later on, my job was to kill fish, and when I say fish, I mean dolphin fish, and also amberjacks, which are 110-pound fish. They're huge animals. They're enormous, and they're beautiful. And my job was basically to gaff them whenever they came up to the surface, pull them onto the boat, and beat them to death with hooks. A very bloody situation. I was constantly covered in head to toe in blood. This stuff was a little more fresh, spattered all over the place, got in my mouth and my eyes. Basically was beating dolphin fish and amberjacks, giant creatures, to death with backs of hooks on a daily basis, constantly. That was something that kind of was very traumatic to me, watching myself do that. It basically was kind of like watching from the outside. I wasn't actually there when I was doing it. I was kind of watching myself do it, and I guess that kind of messed with me a little bit and kind of trickled down to begin my transformation into veganism. That understanding of the process of how those fish came to be and how they came from the sea to my plate started turning the wheels, and eventually I started thinking that way about everything. And one day, it literally happened on a day, just that day. I didn't even know what vegan was. I didn't even know there was such thing as a vegan. I grew up in Charleston, South Carolina. Vegan is not big there. I was eating a bacon cheeseburger one day, and I got about halfway through with it, and I looked down and realized that it was a cow. And I realized I was eating this animal, this beautiful animal that I had seen and petted and played with before. And I just stopped halfway through, and from that point on, just like that, I was vegan. Brendan, you rock too, man. Keep cooking. You're always making those freaking cookies all the time. Keep doing that. Cookies are good for the soul. Not so much the body, but sometimes you need soul food. Keep it up. Grant wants to know if I'm gay, and not in those words. A little more graphic than that, but the answer to that question is no. I'm completely heterosexual, but I am completely for people being gay. That's fine. If you want to call it gay rights, I'm not really for gay rights. I don't believe in gay marriage, and it's not for the reason you think. It's because I don't believe in marriage, period. I think marriage is just a bad idea. It used to be a sanctity of love in which you declarated under God. Now it's not so much. Every single time you watch somebody get married, people are placing bets on how fast they're going to get divorced. You got a divorce rate that's well over 50% here in America. There's no seriousness to it. Nobody takes it seriously, and the few people who do, I commend you. But for the most part, people get married, and it just makes it harder for them to break up. And it's just sad, but that's how it is. But yeah, I just think that if you're doing something that feels right and you are making yourself happy, then more power to you. I don't judge anybody. I guess that's gonna be it. If you guys have any other questions you want to ask me, by all means. I guess I probably have to start video blogging now because people don't want to just see me scream at my kitchen and throw things into pans anymore. They actually want to hear the voice behind the madness. So, hit me up. Ask me anything. Apparently, you can ask me really anything. And Mary Somerville and Ashley Keller. You couldn't come up with a question, but I know you're still my favorite and biggest fans. If anybody thinks they're better fans, get on there and blog the shit out of me. Booyah!